Good afternoon. I'm calling this meeting to order. This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting. It is Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. It is 2:01 p.m. We'll start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Commissioner Edwards.
Please join me in the pledge, and if you lose your way, it's up here on the wall. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next is the land acknowledgement, usually done by the vice chair, but since he is not here today, which leads me, I did not do introductions. I'm Carolina Mejia. I'm the chair of the board. Vice Chair Ty Menser is excused. He is at a lot conference and where he is representing the county. And to my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards, also in the boardroom. We have County Manager Ramiro Chavez, Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell, and our Clerk of the Board, Jamie Caldwell. So we would like to start today with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. Our next item is the approval of the Tuesday, February 14th agenda. Is there a motion?
Chair?
Yes, ma'am. Oh,
Chair,
Yes.
with your indulgence, I would like to introduce an amendment to the agenda.
Okay.
And this is item number 5.
The amended,
Yeah, the motion was not updated on the agenda, so with your indulgence, I would like to read the new motion.
okay.
It should read, move to approve amendment number 1 to the Foster Garvey contract to add professional legal services on the courthouse infrastructure improvement project and authorize the assistant county manager to sign the amendment.
Can you repeat that?
We will repeat that when the time comes.
okay, that's what I'll have you do. Thank you, sir.
I'll repeat that when the time comes, but with your indulgence, I would like to consider that amendment.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the Tuesday, February 14th, 2023 agenda as amended?
Yes, ma'am. I would move to approve today's agenda, Tuesday, February 14th, 2023, as amended.
I'll second the motion. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
No discussion other than, do you want to enter that changed amendment at this point in time?
No, we'll
When we get to
when
it?
the time comes, sir.
Thank you. No
Okay.
questions.
So with that, I will call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser's excused. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. The amended agenda passes. Next is an opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of Thurston County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. The general speaking guidelines are as follows. Please introduce yourself, including the address you reside in the county. Please address the board, not the audience or staff. Please silence your cell phones for those members in the boardroom. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees cannot donate their speaking time to another person. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outburst of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. All materials provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 of the RCW. No remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. Thank you so for your cooperation. So with that, I see we have a lot of new faces today. How this usually works, I'll call people who have signed up. And then after that, I'll see if there would be anyone else who would like to provide a public testimony in the boardroom. And then we will move on to the Zoom, and the county manager will assist me in calling the people on Zoom. So with that, the first person on our list is Elsie Sable.
Hi, my name is Elsie Sable, and I live at 2833 Calais Lane, Northwest Olympia. The National Academy of Sciences, in a worst-case scenario, projects a sea level rise of 78 inches by the year 2100, which would result in a loss of 690,000 square miles of land, displacing 2.5% of the world's population. As our climate changes rapidly, our farms won't be able to sustain the same level of production or support the same crops. By 2050, 500,000 people could die from food insecurity as a direct result of climate change. According to the World Health Organization, climate change is estimated to kill 5 million people between 2030 and 2050, and 83 million by the year 2100. When youth imagine our future, this is what we have to look forward to. In 2021, the members of the Thurston Board of County Commissioners passed the Thurston Climate Mitigation Plan, the TCMP, in response to many community members, ourselves included. We felt seen, we felt heard and understood. We thought that finally, elected officials were taking action to protect our world. We were wrong. Passage of the TCMP means nothing if you take no step toward implementation. Thus, we first demand that you draft and pass an implementation strategy. Second, along with your passage of the TCMP, you declared a climate emergency. We demand that you start acting like it. Develop emergency procedures and free up emergency funds. Our government was not built to act with the urgency the climate crisis demands. You must enact urgent structural change, or the people you claim to serve will suffer for it. Continue with business as usual, and there will be blood on your hands.
Jamie, could we get copies of this for the board, please? Okay. Next is Lisa Ornstein.
Good afternoon, Commissioners Edwards and Mejia. My name is Lisa Ornstein. I live at 3010 28th Avenue Southeast in Olympia. The Thurston County Board of County Commissioners is a Thurston Climate Mitigation Plan partner, and as such has pledged in 2020 to reduce locally generated greenhouse gas emissions 45% below 2015 levels by 2030 and 85% below 2015 levels by 2050. I take no comfort in looking at the Thurston Climate Mitigation 2023 Progress Report, where I learned that in 2021, Thurston County's estimated carbon footprint was 2.9 million metric tons of carbon dioxide, equivalent approximately to 9.3 mtCO2 per person. After a significant drop in 2020, emissions climbed back up by 4% as many activities rebounded from pandemic-related closures. Overall, our region has seen only a 4% decrease in emissions since the baseline year. Carbon emissions are not on track. The amount of waste Thurston County residents sent to landfill is increasing even faster than the population is growing. The amount of wastewater we are producing is also increasing. Solid waste and wastewater reduction are not on track. Energy use in our region has risen overall since 2015, and both electricity and natural gas use increased in 2021 compared to 2020. Energy emissions reductions are not on track. Land use planning is a critical component. Creating denser urban neighborhoods where people can easily access their daily needs will enable more people to opt out of driving. Land use is not on track either for urban households within a half mile of a center or corridor, or for the proportion of residential development outside urban growth area. Land use planning is not on track. The facts are these. The climate crisis is a present emergency, and swift implementation of the Thurston Climate Mitigation Plan is vital. The future that the partners of the Thurston Climate Mitigation Plan is creating for our youth through its failure to take actions on the scale and at the pace required is a terrifying succession of rapidly increasing, ever more intense climate catastrophes. Please open your eyes and your hearts to these young people and act now so that they can have a viable tomorrow. Implement the actions called for by the Thurston Youth Climate Coalition. Thank you.
I don't have anyone else signed up. Is there anyone else in the boardroom that would like to speak at this time? Okay, with that, oh,
I'm in support of everything that was just said.
Introduce yourself, please. Thank you.
It's Esther Cronenberg, live on Cooper Point Road, and my husband and I are both in support of this action and everything that Ms. Ornstein said. Thank you.
with that, we will move on to Zoom. County Manager?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to be calling you on the Zoom screen based on the order that I see in my computer. First, I have Mitron Spolestra. My apologies if I didn't pronounce your name correctly.
Oh, no comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. Next, Jesse Simmons.
I have no comment at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. David Jobs.
No comment at this time. Thank you.
Audrey Richards. Audrey Richards. Okay. Andrew Silmeri.
No comment.
Lauren LeBeau. Warren Johnson.
No comment at this time. Thank you.
Dale Clark. Dale Clark. That will conclude public testimony, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay. I want to take a moment and thank everyone who provided public testimony today and for those who came in support. Next, we will move on to County Manager's update.
I don't have any specific updates this afternoon, Madam Chair.
Okay. So, pause for a second.
Good job.
Okay, next is the consent agenda. There are items 3A through 3E. There's been two additions to the consent agenda, and they're both appointments to the Agricultural Advisory Committee. The first one is for Greg Schoenbacher for, wasn't there also a reappointment for Jake Yancey?
I believe also you discussed this more, only the two appointments that are in your agenda today.
There was also a reappointment that we discussed last week, and I just, for some reason, I just thought of it right now as well.
Yeah, I didn't remember
Maybe,
that
maybe
this
we can
morning.
follow up to your next board meeting.
Okay. That can be, I completely, for some reason, I just caught it right now.
Appreciate it.
There's two additions, and they're both appointments to the Agricultural Advisory Committee. The first one is for Greg Schoenbacher for a 2-year term, and his term expires February 14th, 2025. The next appointment would be for Stella Waxwing, and it would be for a 2-year term with a term expiration of February 14th, 2025. So with that, I'm seeing the ex officio member instead of a non-farmer member for Stella Waxwing.
So the one that you would invite, or that you would ask me to move forward with, appointing this morning was a non-farmer member, and last our discussion was, to add the other person as, it wasn't ex officio, but this one has the actual committee itself has set up with ex officio members. So we had the one open non-farmer seat, and then you were going to do the additional appointment. And so I thought that that additional appointment was supposed to go in as their, as the ex officio appointment.
Until we resolve the number of.
Okay. Okay, so with that, any further questions to the
No.
consent agenda?
I guess there's more to come later when we make another adjustment.
Okay, so with that, is there a motion?
Yes, ma'am. I would move to approve consent items A through E.
I'll go ahead and second. It's been moved and seconded. This is a non-debatable motion, so I will go ahead and call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer's excused. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Consent agenda passes. Next is department items. So first item is from Central Services, item 4A, and this is professional service contract for Thurston County Courthouse infrastructure upgrades. Thomas?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Tom Stremke. I'm a Capital Project Manager for the Central Services Department. Before you is a request to approve, first to waive competitive bidding toward a contract to professional services to OAC Services, Inc. This project is for this contract is for construction management and project management assist for the department. This is in conjunction with our Thurston County infrastructure rehabilitation of the courthouse campus area. The purpose of this contract is to help us, one, to spend our $50 million correctly in accordance with state law. State law requires anything over $2 million to be handled in an alternate bidding format, which is a progressive design build, which we're asking to do. And therefore, we need a consultant to aid us in preparing the application to the RCW, not the RCW, the PCR, Project Review Committee. And then once we have that approval, then proceed on with the design build portion of that contract. I'm here to answer any questions you have in regard to this.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Edwards?
No, I think I would let the public know that we spent a fair amount of time on this on several different occasions, and maybe the most recent one would be this morning at our agenda setting meeting. We had quite an explanation by staff. And also, it was brought to my attention that the school out at Yelm did quite an extensive project utilizing this process. So it sounds like it can expedite the program and save money. So I hope that's what occurs this time around, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't have any questions. I'm ready for a motion.
I would move to waive competitive bidding requirements in accordance with Thurston County Procurement Policy, Section A9, and approve the professional services contract with OAC Services Incorporated for up to $2,151,000, and authorize the Assistant County Manager to execute the contract and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer's excuse, Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Next, from the Commissioner's Office is item 5A, Foster Garvey Contract Amendment. And Robin Campbell, our Assistant County Manager, will report on this.
Thank you, Commissioner. This afternoon, Robin Campbell, Assistant County Manager. This afternoon, I am requesting that the board approve an amendment to our contract with Foster Garvey. Do I need to move a little? And this amendment is also part of the capital project to make improvements to our buildings on the courthouse campus. And again, as Tom said, in order to secure the approval of the State Project Review Committee to do design build as the process, we need a legal advisor with expertise in design build. So Foster Garvey is a company that we contract with for bond counsel, and they are a logical extension to also provide us advice on this service. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Commissioner Edwards?
Just for clarification, maybe at our briefing this morning, you mentioned the need for legal expertise. And both of these items, 4 and 5, were signed off on by 2 of our legal advisors. And I just couldn't remember which signed for which. Could you refresh that, please?
Sure. Scott Cushing signed on the professional services contract for the general manager, and Elizabeth Petrich signed off on the contract amendment for Foster Garvey.
And I would just point out to the public that on these complicated issues, oftentimes we get legal advice before we move forward. And I'd just like to point out that that was obtained on both of these situations as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I would move to approve, and maybe I'll point out that this was an amended motion, amended when we started at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I would like to move to approve amendment number 1 to the Foster Garvey contract to add professional legal services on the courthouse infrastructure improvement project and authorize the Assistant County Manager to sign the amendment.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, but again, I'd refer folks to our agenda setting, should they have any questions on a little more clarification on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, there was a lot of very good questions asked, a lot of good conversation in regards to both these items. So it's been moved and seconded. There's no further discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer's excuse, Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Moving on to Public Health and Social Services, item 6A, amendment to the Regional Housing Council interlocal agreement. And Thomas Webster, our Senior Program Manager, will report on this. Tom, go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tom Webster with Public Health and Social Services. So here to ask your approval to approve Amendment 2 to the Regional Housing Council Interlocal Agreement. This interlocal agreement was originally executed by all the member jurisdictions, which includes Thurston County, City of Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater, and the City of Yelm in January of 2021. And it was amended again in April of 2021. This amendment incorporates a couple changes into the RHC structure, including incorporating the Olympia Thurston County Memorandum of Understanding and Interlocal Agreement that was approved to combine the Olympia and Thurston County Home Funds, to create 2 advisory boards, an Affordable Housing Advisory Board and a Homeless Services Advisory Board, make funding recommendations to the Regional Housing Council, to establish the chairs of the advisory boards as ex officio or non-voting members of the RHC. It also eliminates the requirement that jurisdictions take separate action to approve projects be funded with Substitute House Bill 1406 funds. And it allows the lead agency, which is the county, to transfer programmatic or administrative functions to partner jurisdictions on an as-needed basis. So looking for your approval to execute and move forward with this amendment, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Commissioner Edwards.
I don't really have any questions, but I'd like to be assured that the public heard that explanation because I could barely hear it myself. So is there any way that we will know if the public heard that?
Let me see. Hey, Joe, Huda, do you hear the explanation from Tom?
Yep, I heard the explanation.
Okay, thank you.
Good enough. That was it for me, ma'am. Thank you.
Maybe just the reception here coming through.
Yeah, it's probably the reception that's, I know Robin has been coming in and out on this, so, okay. And my microphone just really picked up, I can hear it. Okay. I don't have any questions in regards to this. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long process for us to finally get here, and there's been a lot of discussion with all of the partners of the Regional Housing Council on how to move forward in a way that's fair for all of the jurisdictions involved in this. So with that, I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I would move to authorize public health. No, I would move to authorize Amendment 2 to the Regional Housing Council interlocal agreement to incorporate Thurston County and the City of Olympia home funds, to create 2 advisory boards, and to update the governance structure of the RHC.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Again, we've had a lot of coverage on this issue, long time coming, as you said, Chair. But folks can review our agenda setting and get a little more clarification on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer's excused. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Moving on to item 6B, it's the authorization to issue a request for proposals related to homeless services and affordable housing, community development block grant, and Veterans Emergency Shelter Funds contracts. Tom, passing it back to you.
Great, thank you, Commissioners. So with this item, we're asking for your approval to move forward with a request for proposals. So with Public Health and Social Services, with a lot of the funds we receive from the federal, state, and local funds, we issue a request for proposals annually. And so we're looking to do that again this year. These funds will be soliciting projects for funding with the Federal Home Investment Partnership Act, the State Consolidated Homeless Grant Funds, Housing and Essential Needs, the Local Affordable Housing Fund, which is Substitute House Bill 2060, which is a document recording fee, the Eviction Prevention and Housing Stability Bill, which is a 1277 document recording fee, the Homeless Housing Fund, which is another local document recording fee under Substitute House Bill 2163, and Local Home Fund dollars for services. We'll also be soliciting applications on behalf of the City of Lacey for the Community Development Block Grant Program, Those applications were reviewed by the Lacey City Council prior to presentation to the Board of County Commissioners. And we'll also solicit applications for the Veterans Assistance Fund. And these applications will be reviewed by the Veterans Advisory Board. In total, approximately over $10,800,000 of funding is available. That is an estimate, and final totals will be determined based on federal and state budgets. Applications will be available beginning on February 24th, with applications due by March 31st of 2023. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. Thank you.
No questions for me. I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I would move to authorize Public Health and Social Services to issue the 2023 request for proposals to receive applications with the intent to issue contracts related to services for homeless services and affordable housing, community development block grant, and Veterans Emergency Shelter Funds.
I will second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentor is excused. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, moving on to item 6C is set a public hearing on home ARP plan and to amend program year 2021 HUD annual action plan. And passing it back to you, Tom.
Great, thank you again. So Thurston County, under the American Rescue Plan Act, under the Home Investment Partnership Program, Thurston County has received a grant award of $3,053,476. These funds are intended to provide housing, services, and shelter to individuals experiencing homelessness and other vulnerable populations. These awards were based on a formula to jurisdictions that qualify for the Home Investment Partnership Program, which includes Thurston County. In order to utilize these funds, the county needed to come up with a home ARP allocation plan and to have a public comment period to allow the public to comment on that plan. So we intend to post the home ARP allocation plan on February 20th and set a public hearing for March 21st to hear public comment. Following that public hearing, we'll be submitting the plan to HUD for approval. As part of that submission to HUD, we need to amend our 2021 HUD annual action plan is where it gets incorporated. So we're asking your approval today to set a public hearing for March 21st at 3:30 or soon thereafter as may be heard. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. Again, we've had adequate coverage on this. Thank you.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I would move to set a public hearing for Tuesday, March 21st, 2023 at 3:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at 3000 Pacific Avenue Southeast, room 110, to receive public comment on the home ARP allocation plan and amendment to the program year 2021 Department of Housing and Urban Development Annual Action Plan.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentor is excused. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Tom. Moving
Thank
on
you.
to our last department item from Public Works, item 7A, authorization to issue a request for proposals for an analytical laboratory testing services contract. And is that Gerald?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead.
good afternoon. My name is Gerald Towsley. I'm the Solid Waste Facility Operations Manager out at the Waste Recovery Center. A quick little background. Public Works Solid Waste Division operates and maintains the Hawks Prairie closed landfill located at the Waste Recovery Center. The closed landfill is currently monitored and controlled by the county in accordance with regulatory post-closure reporting requirements for groundwater, leachate, landfill gas, and stormwater. Public Works is responsible for the collection of water samples from the closed landfill and being tested by an accredited analytical laboratory. The county is required to provide quarterly and annual groundwater reports to Washington State Department of Ecology. Public Works Water Resource Division operates 4 wastewater treatment facilities located at Boston Harbor, Grand Mound, Olympic View, and Tanasham, and is required to conduct laboratory testing on wastewater influent and effluent in accordance with Department of Ecology permitting requirements. In addition, the division operates 3 water utilities located at Boston Harbor, Grand Mound, and Tanasham, and is required to conduct lab testing on groundwater in accordance with the Department of Health requirements. Public Works is responsible for the collection of samples and testing by an accredited analytical laboratory to confirm compliance with applicable regulatory requirements. Public Works does not have the necessary resources in-house to perform analytical laboratory testing services. The county has need for these ongoing services and would like to enter into 1 or more service contracts for up to 5 years term to guarantee service and pricing. The initial term will be for 1 year with 4 one-year option renewals. The estimated cost for the 5-year term is $1 million. The RFP process allows for competition and evaluation of multiple contractor proposals and is most likely result in a contract or contracts that meet the operational needs and delivers the greatest value to the public. All contract expenditures for landfill-related sampling will be funded through revenues from the solid waste facility tipping fees. And all contract expenditures for water and sewer utility testing will be funded through the utility rates. So I'm available to answer questions concerning the Waste Recovery Center, and Joe is here to answer questions for the Water Resource Division.
Thank you. Joe, anything you would like to add?
Nope, I think Gerald summed it up quite well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any questions? Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. We've had a lot of discussion on this particular topic. Thank you.
Yes, we have. Okay, I don't have any questions either. I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I would move to authorize Public Works to issue a request for proposal for analytical laboratory testing services for water and solids samples taken from the Hawks Prairie closed landfill and the Boston Harbor, Grand Mound, Olympic View, and Tamashan water and sewer utility facilities to comply with Washington State Department of Ecology and Department of Health regulatory reporting requirements.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentors, excuse Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. That will conclude our department items. Moving on to our standing items. Item 8A, Commissioners will report on board work sessions and assigned committee meetings, providing updates on actions taken as well as upcoming issues. Commissioner Edwards, we'll start with you, sir.
Okay, this past week, I held the second meeting with the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, in which recommendations have been made to be forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners for review and possibly approval for 2023. And then we had many ongoing meetings all week, and that had to do with legislative issues. Met with the fire authority folks over a consolidation issue with Tumwater and Olympia. And then the ongoing issues over land use and water quality issues and such over the week. Thank you. That was it for me.
Thank you. For me, I met with Eric Johnson from the Washington State Association of Counties, as well as Justice Stephen Gonzalez, to discuss one of the committees that I'm involved with, the Interbranch Advisory Committee, which involves local governments as well as the judicial system and the legislator, to kind of discuss a better way to cooperate moving forward. And I thought it was a really good conversation on how we can coordinate better in the future. I was, most of last week, there was like 3 days of at RHC, Regional Housing Council Advisory Board interviews, and those are for the committees, and we were interviewing for both the homeless services as well as the affordable housing advisory boards, and we had a great range of applicants from all walks of life. I was very impressed with just everyone who applied, and want to thank everyone really who put their name in there. Definitely made our jobs harder, to pick. It's always great when you have a great list of people who are interested and really want to help. I also attended the ORCA board meeting, and my week consisted just with a wide range of issues from legislator to land use as well. I do post my calendar on my Facebook for those who would like to see kind of what I'm up to on a weekly basis. With that, I will move on to the next item. Item 8B, the county manager will review the Board of County Commissioners.
Madam Chair,
Oh, yes.
might I comment on one other thing?
Yes.
I thought maybe you were going to touch on it, but we've had also a lot of ongoing discussions on the Supreme Living Facility in Tenino. So I didn't want the public to think that just because we didn't mention it,
Yeah.
we've been working on it a lot. I just want to assure people of that. Thank you, ma'am.
No, thank you. Yes. Yes, we have. Okay. Item 8B, the county manager will review the Board of County Commissioners' schedule for the week of February 14th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioner Edwards. Let me walk you through a combined schedule where at least 2 commissioners will be present. You will have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. However, I will be covering the next 2 weeks, considering next Tuesday Board of County Commissioners meeting has been canceled. Today, February 14th at 4:30 in the afternoon, you have your regular Board of Health meeting. Tomorrow, Wednesday, February 15th, at noon, you have been invited to participate in the Tenino Area Chamber of Commerce that is going to be held at Sandstone Cafe, 273 Sussex Avenue in Tenino. At 2 in the afternoon, you have your regular appointed directors meeting. Thursday, February 16th, at 1 in the afternoon, I believe Commissioner Edwards has the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administration meeting. Friday, February 17th, you have the regular study meeting at 8 in the morning that is going to be located at the Rainier Senior Center at 108 Michigan Street in Rainier. At 10 in the morning, February 17th, you have the opportunity to welcome new county employees to county government. Saturday, February 18th, you have been invited to participate on the Black History Museum walkthrough event, and that is going to be located in the New Life Baptist Church at 7838 Pacific Avenue Southeast in Lacey. Next week, Monday, February 20th, the county offices are closed in observance to the President's Day holiday. Tuesday, February 21st, again, the Board of County Commissioners meeting has been canceled in the afternoon, as well as the regular agenda setting has been canceled. However, you have been invited to participate in Thurston County Fire Commissioners meeting, questions and answers, 6 in the afternoon, and that is going to be a virtual attendance. Wednesday, February 22nd, 9 in the morning, you have a briefing related to the 2022-2023 official docket process, where staff will bring you some comments received from the public. Nothing, or you combine the schedule on Thursday, February 23rd. Friday, February 24th, you have a day-long planning session from 10 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon here in this room. And that agenda will be posted at least 24 hours in advance. Monday, February 27th, you have your regular noon, the Kiwanis meeting, as well as the WASAC, the Washington State Association of Counties, regular meeting. Then moving on to Tuesday, February 28th, 9 in the morning, you have your regular agenda setting. In the afternoon at 2, you have your regular Board of County Commissioners meeting, and you have 2 public hearings. One related to the Development Code Docket 818, the Agricultural Activities Critical Area Update. And also you have a public hearing related to the precinct boundary changes for County Commissioners' legal descriptions. And that will conclude my report, unless you have any questions.
Any questions?
No questions, ma'am.
Okay. No questions for me. So again, just for members of the public, our meeting for next Tuesday is canceled. And we will also be having a Board of Health this afternoon at 4:30 if you wish to attend. And that will be in same Zoom link? In a different Zoom link. Okay, with that, it is 2:47 PM. That concludes our agenda for today. Thank you all for coming. We are adjourned.